if you're thinking about starting your own supplement brand, this video is for you. Now, I'm going to strip everything down and I'm going to show you behind the scenes how to find a manufacturer to get you off the ground. Now, I've done over 2 mil in supplement sales from one of my own brands here. I've just got it on the screen so you can see I'm not making this up. If you want me to do a refresh check, let's do it. And it's exactly the same. Brilliant. So, bit of context. As you can see, I've done almost 2 mil in sales with my own supplement brand. I started this back in 2015, 2016, didn't know what I was doing. I was stuck. I couldn't find a supplier. No one really trusted me because it's my first time being an entrepreneur. I had no real criteria to know what good looks like. Very scared to lose money as well. Everything seemed very expensive. And the biggest problem is I don't know where these companies exist. They don't really have websites or listings. And I struggled for a long time. Now, when I say a long time, I literally phoned, I think, 52 companies, which were very hard to find. And this is 10 years ago. You didn't have the same access to information as you do now. And out of the 52, 50 said they wouldn't work with me, or they had really high MOQs, and it just wasn't a good fit because I didn't really have any budget. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did and how you can learn from all of my mistakes in this video, and this will be about how to find, vet, and partner with the best supplement supplier so that you can bring out and start your own brand. We'll talk about what to look for, how to build trust with these company owners, what sort of costs or budget you need, MOQs, explain pretty much the whole process, the supplier models. This is how you're going to launch your brand. You're going to white label it, you're going to go custom formula, or you're going to lead with dropshipping. And basically just understand how your supplier choice impacts your brand positioning. So, and another thing as well, which is really useful, and this is why I need you to watch this whole video if you're serious about starting your own supplement brand. I'm going to show you exactly what the criteria is to make sure that you don't get screwed over. So a bit of a checklist in terms of what you're looking for. Like, what does good look like? You probably don't know. If you're anything like me, a normal person starting out, first-time entrepreneur, I have no idea. So I'm going to help you navigate this so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. So think about the accreditations, ingredient quality, third-party testing, looking at reviews or references. I'm literally going to give everything away for free for you, and I'm hoping this is going to be one of the most valuable videos I've ever put out, because every single video I put out about starting or scaling a supplement brand, all the time, where do I find suppliers? Where do I find suppliers? Who do you supply? Who does the supply chain, etc.? I get this all the time. And if you want to accelerate the process, what I'd recommend you do is click the link in the description, join my school community for free, because I'll give you my full supplier list. This must be about 30 or 40 on the list, and this is across the world as well. And if you also want my direct help to build your supplement brand, just like I did, scaling mine to 2 mil, or one of my clients or students, Alp, Travis, Ryan, Luke, you can see their testimonials in the school community. If you want direct help, there's also an option in the school community to book a one-to-one call so we can see if you're a good fit to work together. Sound good? Brilliant. Links in the description. Right, let's get into it. All right, look at this nice little chart that I put together. And we're going to go through everything step by step. And by the end of this video, by the time I finish with this board, you are going to know exactly what to do and what to look for. And this is going to save you probably thousands of pounds in months of work, just so you get your route to market correct. And like all of this, every single one of these pieces is incredibly important. So if you skip any of them, you're probably going to end up in a problem further down the line. So where do we start? What I would start with is understanding your route to market. But basically, your route to market, you have 3 ways. You either white label, so this is when you're selling an existing product, but putting your own label on it. You do a custom formula, which is what I did, and it took me 2 years to develop, and thousands of pounds. Again, didn't know what I was doing. Or you have a third option, which is you start with branded dropshipping, which if you're just starting out, I would 100% recommend. But of course, it depends on you, depends on your formula, depends on your market, and depends on your time scales, and more than anything else, your budget as well, because each one of these has its own pros and cons. And this links directly to the next step, which is understanding your formula. Like what is it exactly that you're wanting to bring to the market? Understanding, because this isn't like a standard dropshipping product. This is a consumable. This is something you're going to sell that people are going to ingest and put in their bodies. And ideally, you're going to want to look at strategic points of differentiation, so that you're not just selling random products and ingredients to everyone. You really need to double down on the market, which we'll cover in a moment. But yeah, just understanding, okay, what exactly am I solving and which ingredients solve that problem? And obviously, each specific problem that you're solving with your brand or your product will have a certain set of ingredients. And this kind of all pulls together around the logistics. I put it in the logistics column because there's a lot of moving parts in a supplement brand, but I just want to consolidate everything and make this as easy as possible for you. So just understanding the supply chain, how that works, what that looks like if you decide to white label, go custom formula or dropship. Route to market. Understanding how do I take this idea and bring it to a reality. This is the key thing. The fastest, most streamlined way in terms of like leveraging risk and making sure you move fast is obviously going down the branded dropshipping route. I have a list of suppliers in the checklist. Again, just comment below. What I recommend you do is comment the word supply. That's the word. Comment supply. I'll send you the link directly. I'll reply to you straight away. You can have that completely for free. But yeah, just understanding what's going to be the best route for you. This is everything, because you can spend years making this perfect formula or packaging it in just such a way where everything, if you're in that perfectionist mindset, of course you want your product to be good. Of course you want it to work and be the best. But sometimes you go through this whole process like I did, 2 whole years, making this product perfect, branding, custom packaging, custom formula, testing, everything. And I launched and I got 0 sales. Well, if you know my story, I actually got 1 sale from a friend because he felt sorry for me and because I gave him a 40% discount, which is obviously tragic. But I don't want you to make this same mistake. So learn from me. If you're starting out, I'd 100% recommend you go down the branded dropshipping route to start with. Suppliers, we'll get into it in a moment, but there's a couple out there that you can use. And this is kind of trying to box off as many different geographical regions as possible, depending on where you're watching this video or where you want to start your brand from. Okay, let's get back to this. So understand your route to market. When I'm talking about leverage here, what I mean is, in my experience, supplement manufacturers, or just in general the food industry, is horribly slow. Unless you're coming in with big orders, big repeat orders, you have traction, they're not interested because they make their money on big bulk purchases and manufacturing runs. If you're coming in and you're putting in a custom formula order of like 5, 10 or even 100, by the time they go through the research and development protocol and process of like label regs, taste testing, it's a big investment for them in time. And even when they get that done, there's no guarantee that you're either going to sell them or that you're going to come back and then start ordering. So like nurturing a good, strong relationship with suppliers is really important. What I did, so I mentioned it was 52, I think it was 52 or 53 suppliers that I scrapped around to try and find, because this resource I'm giving you now didn't exist. I ended up going with a company who was relatively new, and they were hungrier for the business. And when I'm talking about leverage, it's just thinking outside the box. So you're building integrity in them. You're showing them that you're serious. Tell them that you're looking for, you have investment. Just make sure that there's integrity there, and they know that you're serious about this. And this isn't just an idea you thought about on a drunken night out on a Friday evening. This is something you've planned. You've got a whole business plan for it. That's going to spark their attention. Because think about it. If you're a supplement manufacturer, how many requests are you getting every day? And you're going to have to filter through who's serious, who's legitimate, who has an actual good idea. Because from the contract manufacturer side of things, yes, they're going to take a gamble on you if you get on. But if they see potential in this product, this could be a massive account for them. So of course they want the business. And they want to see the vision from your side. So coming to there with a plan, you know what I mean? Just as much of your due diligence and research as possible. This is going to give you a bit more of a strategic advantage than someone who's just woke up on a Monday morning and thought, oh, got a great idea. Let's phone around. I don't have any money. Like, they're not interested. They're not going to listen. So just be aware of that. Okay. I put contract on the bottom here because this could be like, especially around custom formula as well. This is maybe particularly skewed towards this, of just making sure all the legalities are taken care of. Who owns the IP? Is it them? Who owns the flavoring system? Because this is kind of trade secrets with a lot of food manufacturers. Just be crystal clear on this, because when your brand starts taking off, this is something that you want as your own proprietary IP. By IP, I mean intellectual property, and not them. And obviously, they're going to want to try and leverage. This is their secret. Okay, yes, you own the formula. But remember, with supplements, or just food in general, I suppose if we're talking about a recipe, it is very difficult unless you create a new compound to patent an ingredient recipe list, because someone else could just copy it directly and just change one thing. So again, don't spend too much time, because the main thing for you is speed to market. And this is why I say branded dropshipping is always the best route. If you spend months, years making this perfect product, trying to protect it from everyone, and this is all before you've made a single sale, this is completely where I went wrong. is I thought everything's got to be protected. I'm not going to tell anyone about my idea until I launch. And the end result of that was like no one knew I even existed. I had no idea about marketing. I hadn't really went out and spoke directly to the market to get that input on, is this something the market actually wants? And that is the worst place to be, particularly so when you've already invested at least 10K in this business, in this brand, and holding stock, and you have no way of even selling the stock. And this is the thing. When you go custom, is you're going to have a liability in the form of stock, which is just cash but locked up and converted into inventory, and it has an expiry date. And this is, again, a big thing about understanding wherever possible and applying leverage of just making sure your MOQs are as small as possible to start with, so that you have the time just to stretch out, and just thinking about expiry dates, etc. Like, don't go big unless you have a big budget, unless you have an investor, or unless you have previous experience in sales and marketing or e-com. It's very dangerous. And this is why I'll always point you, if you're a beginner, if you're just starting out, go down the dropshipping route. Okay, I think I've boxed this off now. The next one is timeline. Now, this is always expectation versus reality. I thought it would take me 2 months to get this brand from idea to concept to reality. It ended up taking me 2 years, and it's because I didn't understand the process. So just being realistic with this, and the variables that are directly within your control are understanding and speaking to your manufacturer of what is the lead time, whether that's a white label for them, do they hold stock and they just put your label on it, or if you're going custom formula, how long does it take them to do ingredient sourcing and package everything and then send it to you. And I would always say with budgets or timelines, if you're going custom, or just in general any products, always double the budget you think it's going to cost and stretch out the time by maybe 3 or 4x, because there's always things that come up or delays. We're dealing with humans at the end of the day as well, and because you're probably going to be a small account, they're naturally going to prioritize their bigger customers, which again makes sense from a business perspective, but it's just being aware of that from your side. And now the second one is R&D. What do I mean by R&D? This is research and development, or research and design. So if you're going custom formula, how long is it going to take you to get this formula put together? So we're talking ingredients, taste testing, packaging, sampling, toing and froing, working with their food scientist or their in-house product development team. Normally they call it NPD, which is new product development. They'll have someone in-house to work with you through that. This can take a long time, and it took a very long time for me, specifically because I was dealing with kids, and kids are inherently fussy eaters. So trying to bring this specific group of ingredients that are generally healthy and packaging them in a way where it's actually tasty was very difficult, and I didn't even think about that. I thought it's just plug and play, but it's not. A lot of toing and froing with sampling, so just be aware of that whole process and the timeline. How long is it going to take? Just assume it's going to take way longer than you think is what I'm saying for project timelines. Comms, by comms, I mean the communication with your suppliers. As I said before, the food industry, in my experience, is inherently slow, and it's very frustrating, particularly so when you're keen to get going and they're prioritizing their bigger customers, which again is the natural best business decision for them. So maybe setting expectations of reply times. Again, you don't have a huge amount of leverage to dictate terms at this, but at least making sure communications are clear and you're actually building rapport with their sales team or directly with the owner, so they buy into you. All right. My heuristic is I'm friendly, but I'm not your friend, and that is just you making sure that you learn about them, have proper conversations, humanize things a little bit, just show that you're serious, and wherever possible, set some sort of timelines on how long it's going to take for them to get back to you. If you can get them on WhatsApp, even better, because you know it's going to be a lot quicker than email. But again, it's all about relationship building. Timeline, I put supply chain in here because you do have, if you're going custom formula, a lot of moving parts. Because it's not just the product itself. They have to do all of the raw ingredient sourcing. They have to order it in. They have to do all the mixing, the homogenizer, everything. And then that's not the end of the tail. You have to provide them with packaging. So there's the logistics around there. Or maybe you have to get it off to third-party testing or label regulation. So these are all things you have to factor into the timeline. And that I didn't think about. I just assumed I'd go to a content manufacturer, give them the specific recipe, they'd get it right first time, they do the packaging, they do the branding, and that just wasn't the case at all. They exist to produce a product in the form of the actual physical product, like the powder or the liquid or the bar, whatever format you decide to go in, the gummies, but you still have to look after the packaging. And again, it's just understanding these moving parts and making sure that you anticipate that ahead of time. It's not plug and play. And it's another reason why, if you're just starting out, if you don't have a huge budget, go with branded dropshipping to start with. And the reason I say this is because we're looking to, our first port of call is to establish product market fit. And what this does is it counters the mistake I made where I went all in on this custom formula without selling. If you can sell before you commit cash to inventory and you can streamline the process, you get to that a lot quicker, which means now it takes the pressure off. You're expanding your risk, I guess, or you're splitting down your risk. You're reducing it because you've actually sold it. You know there's a market there. You know how to sell this product. So when it comes to committing cash to inventory or buying stock, you have a much higher degree of certainty that you're able to sell this. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Next, suppliers. I put a couple here just so you can get a bit of an idea, but I do have a full list. So my list is here if you want to get a quick preview of it. Where are we? This is my list, non-exhaustive list. And as I said, if you want it, just comment supply and I'll send you over the link. And this is hosted in my school community, which is where I teach everyone everything I know. It's free for 7 days. So get yourself in there, get acquainted, start making some connections. This is like the safe space that I need when I started out, just to ask questions and understand how things work. But anyway, back to this. Full supplier list, comment supply, I'll send it over for you, like straight away, I'll link it over. All right, cool, budget. Probably the number one thing you're worried about right now is how much is this going to cost and how long is it going to take. So we've kind of boxed off time. Have we boxed off time? Yes, we've boxed off timeline here. So the next thing is it's always going to be how much is it going to cost? And there's a lot of moving parts that I want to try and consolidate so that you have a good enough understanding of what to be aware of, what to be able to anticipate. So first and foremost, how long is it going to take for you to test the products? So if you're dropshipping, can you order some samples for yourself? How long is that going to take? If you're going custom formula, this is you doing the taste testing, and obviously this links to samples, which comes back to R&D, which is research and development. So these are all packaged in one, but these have inherent costs. It costs you the price of the product, or it costs you the postage and shipping. There's generally an R&D cost as well. If you go with a new product development team with a custom manufacturer, they're going to want to bill for their time, which means the faster you can get things done, the less commitment there is for them. And obviously they're going to leverage their own time and make sure that they're paid for it, because even if they go through this lengthy process of making a new product with you, there's still no guarantee you're going to put an order in, never mind a big order. So again, just be aware of that. So there's always price around samples. Testing, I'm talking about maybe third-party testing if you use a company like Inform Sport. If you want to do like some sort of case studies or groups, these all have inherent costs. They're not huge. Just be aware and just try and factor them into your calculations. MOQs, this is a massive one. So this is another reason why I say branded dropshipping is the best place to start, because you have no MOQs. You only buy the product once you've sold it. So the only thing you need to do, if you use a brand like Supplefull, for example, again, all this list in the supplier list, is that they'll help you with the label development, and that's it. Create a brand, give them a label, they'll approve it, make sure everything's compliant, which we'll get onto in a second in the quality section. And that's it, you're good to go. There's no commitment, there's no financial commitment, and it's super fast, really easy, straightforward, which means you can focus your time on marketing and establishing product market fit. But if you go custom, obviously this takes a lot longer. And your MOQs generally, to make it worth it for the manufacturer, are probably going to be, I don't know, anything from minimum 100, sometimes up to like 15 to 20,000, depending on what the product is. And this can get very expensive very quick. And remember, this is before you've even sold a single product. So just be aware of that. If you're looking for leverage, which we talked about before with your suppliers, if you get on with them, then what can you do to make sure that they can just do a small run to start with? And again, this is the integrity, this is the relationship building side of things that becomes very important if you're networking or just kind of general rapport building with your suppliers. Next, it's shipping. And this, what I'm talking about here, is the shipping either to your 3PL or direct to a customer. So just being aware that there's inherent costs there, unless your manufacturer actually does it for you. Ask these questions, just be aware of it. The next thing is packaging. Again, if you're going custom formula, you're going to have to supply your own packaging. You're going to have to do the printing, either printed pouches or printed boxes. It has its own supply chain, so you're going to need connections there as well, depending on what that is. You're going to have to do the label and the branding design. Again, it's all ancillary costs that I didn't think about when I started, which you can't develop a finished product without. So just be aware of that and make sure that you have a budget set aside for it. Unless your manufacturer is able to do it for you, the easiest way is to speak to them directly, because we're going to build relationships with these guys, and they will have connections. They'll be going to all the trade shows, etc. They will have a lot of packaging recommendations. So if you can ask them who their preferred supplier is, that will save you a whole lot of time as well. So just be aware of that. Okay, next one, payment terms. This is a big one if you don't have a huge budget. Is there a way, instead of you paying everything up front, is there a way that you can get maybe a split pay or a net 30, net 60, net 90 days, just to give you the chance to actually start to sell through some inventory beforehand? If not, what I did, because obviously I didn't have like a good credit rating, it was a new business, so they couldn't really trust me from the outset, is I would do 50% on the order, so 50% of the total cost of the order when I'm ordered it, and then the other 50% on completion. And this is to protect them, to make sure that we pay, and it was also to protect me, so that they have accountability to actually finish the project in soon. Because yes, they've covered their costs on the half payment upfront to make the product. And then they're obviously going to want the second half, which I imagine is the profit side from their side, as soon as the product's done. So it means they're incentivized to actually get it made and done, and the cash in the bank. And for you, it splits things up a little bit, so you can deploy capital and focus on building infrastructure on the marketing side of things. But yeah, just be aware of exactly what your budget is. And if you don't have a huge budget, always go down the branded dropshipping route to start with until you hit our established product market fit. I hope that's boxed off and clear. And if you have any questions, by the way, stick them in the comments. I'll answer everything. I've been in this game for 10 years now. I've seen pretty much everything. So yeah, if you're stuck, if you don't know what to do, just message or ask me in school. I'll come back to you. All right, now quality. Remember what we said before. We're literally selling ingestibles. This is something people are going to put in their mouths. It's going to become part of them. So if quality isn't good, you're asking for trouble. Particularly so maybe in the US, where they have quite a strong liability culture. So there's things you can do that are within your direct sphere of influence and control to hedge against this. So first and foremost, we want to look at the accreditations for your supplier. The biggest one is GMP. There's ISO, there's HACCP, there's quite a few different quality checks on clean downs, etc. GMP is obviously the biggest one, which is good manufacturing practice, I think is what it stands for. But this is huge. If your factory cannot show you certifications, or they won't, move on. It doesn't matter what the pricing is, because you will run into trouble at some point. Of course, on regulation, we're thinking about FDA compliance, or for the UK, it's a food standards agency. And making sure that all the ingredients and all of the health claims you're claiming to make on the product, there's lists for these. Just Google them. They'll come up. I just use ChatGPT for like specific articles, because this is how you're able to market specific products to specific people, is because you have pre-approved ingredients that you can associate what they call approved health claims for. Just be aware of that. Okay, so regulation is massive in supplements. Supplements fall in a bit of a grey area, because they're not pharmaceutical products. They're not like fully food products. They're in a bit of a grey area. So it's nowhere near as extreme as if you were like to bring out a new medical product. Like that would take whole like FDA compliance on a whole new level. Supplements, because we're selling essentially food products, they've been through the testing, they have approved health claims, it's a lot easier, which again just reduces the friction from your side, and you can lean on these approved health claims as well when it comes to your marketing. So yeah, testing, I'm talking about third-party testing. So for myself, I will randomly blind check my manufacturer, and I'll send off a completed product to label analysis, and this is to make sure that what they say is in the product is actually in the product, and the nutritionals add up. For example, the protein content, the carbohydrate content, the salt content. I will also take it a level deeper, because I sell specifically to high-level kids in sport. I'll send it off to a company called Informed Sport, and this is the highest level of testing when it comes to making sure there's no steroids or anything in the product. And this is more so from a marketing side for consumer, I suppose, peace of mind. This can get quite expensive, because they test every single batch. We can't sell a batch until they've blind tested and actually had random samples of every new batch. So yeah, if you do decide to sell directly to athletes, I would recommend going down the Informed Sport route. But again, this comes back down to your budget and just understanding all of this before you go into the project, if possible, and just anticipate these things. And again, if you're stuck, send me a message, get in the school, send me a message. I'll come back to you straight away. I'm more than happy to help you through this. That's exactly why I'm doing this, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I did. And so my 10-year timeline for you can be 3 or 6 months. This is the whole point of this. Don't want you to suffer like me. Don't suffer. Don't do it. Just listen, pay attention, implement this. Okay, relevance is the next one, and this is around, are you trying to sell a magnesium supplement for weight loss? I assume maybe there's some relevance, but there's not. For me, it would maybe for kids, it would be like calcium for bone growth and development, these type of things. So making sure that the ingredients that you use actually directly correlate to the way that you're marketing the product, and just making sure that you do this ahead of time, so you're not trying to patch or like hybridize or butcher up some vague link to this product that doesn't really link up at all. You can't validate either scientifically or through marketing. So just be aware of that on the quality. Accreditation is obviously really important. And then samples. I want you, wherever possible, if you're going custom formula, you don't just want to trust the first product. You've got to test it. You've got to try it. You've got to give it out to people. Quality checking them is key, because again, we're dealing with humans here. Humans want to make money. They want to make quick buck. And if you get caught out in this, you skip this process, you're just asking for trouble. So just have some sort of quality control from your side before you place orders. Same even with branded dropshipping as well. If you go down the Supplefill route, which I recommend if you're starting, don't not test the product first. Make sure it's good. Look at its packaging. Okay, if you can maybe make some sort of mock-up or branding if you do Supplefill before you do it, you'll save a bit of money as well. It's just about getting the sequence right. But yeah, don't just go straight to market. Test it first. Make sure it works. Look at the presentation. We're just trying to anticipate any problems and not make mistakes. And then clients. The reason I've got clients here is some brands will happily openly share who they're working with. Sometimes they've got really big brands. Or maybe they have reviews or testimonials, just the same way as if you're buying something online from someone else. You want to see case studies. Who else have they worked with? In this kind of, again, it's just risk mitigation from your side to make sure you're not going to be taken advantage of. So yeah, hopefully that backs us off the quality side. Next one, geography. What I mean by geography. So this is if you are selling a supplement in Australia, you probably don't want to start with anyway. You don't want to source something from the UK because you've got to make it in there, you've got to ship it over, so you've got a lot of logistics involved, you've got customs, all of this stuff. If you can market and sell in your own country, perfect, streamlined. Everything you know is probably going to be compliant as well. So just being aware of that. If you're dropshipping maybe from China and you're importing it, just be aware of the logistics of that, the legalities around it as well, just to make sure everything's compliant. If you're dropshipping from China to start with, just don't skip this. Don't skip the compliance side of things, because you're asking for trouble. Again, understand your supply chain, how things move, because you have quite a few moving parts, of course, if you're going custom formula. Understanding fulfillment. Are you going to send it to your home and you're going to pick and pack it yourself to start with? Are you going to use a 3PL and send them inventory? Again, there's hidden costs around there, because obviously you're going to have to ship the product to them. They're going to check it in. They're going to store it. So there's storage space for warehousing. They're going to do pick and pack, which is generally a cost on a per pick basis. And then of course the delivery. So just understanding your numbers really. But it's from this side, it's like, just understand it's not just a case of, buy it, sell it, done. And this is another reason why branded dropshipping is good through Supplefill, is because you don't have to worry about this. They handle everything for you, so it's super streamlined. And by the way, I have no affiliation with Supplefill. It's just been a good tool for a lot of my clients to get started with, to establish product market fit before then going into custom. This is the route. White labeling is a bit in the middle. It's a lot faster, of course, than going with custom formula. The difference is you're probably going to have to warehouse it yourself, as I said, either from home, or you're going to have to use a 3PL. So just be aware of that. And integrations with your 3PL, do they directly link in with Shopify? Is it external software? Just be aware of the costs. And then, of course, the big one, what are you going to sell? Come to them with an idea. Don't come to them and ask them to help you make something that you don't know, or about a certain type of person that you don't understand. Always comes back to what problem are you solving and who are you solving it for? This is the pertinent questions. And ideally, this is where if you can run a founder-led brand that you're selling, or you're developing a product that you would use or that you do use, that you want others to help or to make available for them, this is perfect, because you should understand what good looks like already, and it's just a marketing thing. So just be aware before you come to them, or before you go to this, just always focus on the hierarchy of problems, because we're paid in direct proportion to the level of the pain point or problem that we solve. And of course, our first port of call once we start selling and building a brand is to establish product market fit. And this, of course, roots back to your formulation. What's in the product? What does it do? How does it work? What are the ingredients? Where are they sourced from? What do they do? Understanding this. And because if you don't have this information, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell. So yeah, I think this pretty much wraps the video up. I hope this is useful. I'll put a little checklist on here as well if I want to run through it real quick. Of course, if you want my list of suppliers, school community, links in the description. Just think about your route as well. Are you going to go branded dropship if you're starting out? Are you going to white label existing products, put your own brand on it? Are you going to go custom formula? Everything works. So it's just up to you. It depends on your timeline and your budget. But before you do anything, first principles, focus on your customer. What problem are you solving and who are you solving it for? This is where I went wrong. I was more obsessed on getting the perfect brand or the perfect product and didn't give any thought to how am I actually going to market or get it in front of the right people at the right time, at the right medium. They are the important questions. And this is why I say if you can sell first, build it after, perfect. Just validate the market as quickly as possible and always start small and then scale. Nail it, then scale it. Otherwise, you end up with this massive liability for a product that you don't know how to sell, or you've made a mistake in labeling, and then you have to send it all back, or it's unsaleable. There's a problem with it. So just do it gradually, and don't be afraid. There's a thing called scale of economy, where the more you buy, the cheaper the cost of the product is. Don't go too big too quick. If it means paying more and sacrificing margin to start out to get a lower batch, do that. Validate it first. And then when you come back, you know you've sold it, you have a bit of a repeat customer base, you know how to sell it. It's just risk mitigation. So just start small scale. Don't go too big too quick. You will get there. But the hard point of all of this, once you've got all this in place, is sales and marketing. This is going to be the hard part. This is going to be the longest kind of ultra marathon once you've got your supply chain and product in place. So yeah, just think about cash flow. Factor in all of these hidden costs, particularly around shipping or packaging, all of these moving parts, because they do add up. They eat into your margin. So understand how much can you afford to pay to buy the product, how much is it going to cost you to ship the product, and then the important one is, well, there's two actually. How much does it cost you to run the business, and how much is it going to cost you, or can you afford to pay to acquire a customer? The two things everyone thinks about. They think buy for 10, sell for 20, I've made $10 profit. Not the case, because you've got to spend to run the business, you've got to pay yourself, you've got software, you've got overheads, you've got staff, contractors, agencies, and then of course you have to pay, this is the biggest one, you have to pay to acquire customers and attract attention in the first place. So bake this in. If you want a copy of my profit calculator, it's also there for free in the school community. Just comment supply and I'll send it over for you. Okay. Cash conversion cycle, very quickly on this. We can talk about it if I think this is quite important actually. If you're going custom formula, your cash conversion cycle, what this means, and you can maybe Google it afterwards, is how long does it take you to buy stock and then unlock that cash from the stock? Okay, and this is important for you to be able to sell through stock quick, because if you have operational overheads, it eats into your margin and budget. It's out of the scope of this video, but if you're going custom formula, just be aware of that and how it impacts your cost, your margin essentially. Next one, fulfillment logistics. Just think about supply chain, all these moving parts, bringing them together. If you have any overheads, for example, are you going to put like flyers in? Is there any ancillary costs with packaging or maybe labeling or compliance, testing, etc.? Just try and be aware and anticipate this. If you're selling to athletes, as I said before, check out Inform Sport. And that's pretty much it. So let me just bring this all together. First and foremost, shortlist 3 to 5 suppliers from the list, common supply. Okay, I'll send it over for you. Just think about like what you're actually selling. Is it in sports nutrition? Is it health and wellness? You know what I mean? Just understand your category and then reach out to them. Okay, reach out, request their catalogs, their pricing, understand their turnaround times, get some samples set out. Just get this moving as quick as possible. Remember, no one's going to do this work for you. It's got to be you, and no one's coming to save you. So the faster you can take action on this, the faster you're able to make an informed decision. And then, of course, evaluate the integration complexity. Again, you're going to do picking and packing yourself, you're going to use a 3PL, are you going to go custom formula, are you going to start with branded drop shipping, and how is this all going to work and pull together? And then, of course, if you are going to say China specifically, just make sure you get those compliance documents as well. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. So yeah, if you're a normal person like me, you're starting a brand, hopefully this is really useful. I get so many comments asking for this video, so I'm just giving everything away for free. If you have any questions specifically, put them in the comments. If you want to work with me one-to-one as well, go through the school, book a call in, we'll chat. I'll see if I'll do my best to help you. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.